My name's Giles Smurden, born in '61 in RAF Hospital at Holton, because my father was a serving RAF officer then. He was a fighter pilot in the Second World War. In those days, most of the officers were stationed on the stations, and so my first real recollections were when I was in Bahrain with my father, who was on duty out there. That was about 1964, so when I was 3.
My grandfather flew Lancaster bombers operationally during World War II. My father was a Vulcan and a Victor pilot. He flew in the Falklands War and the First Gulf War. So it's kind of in the blood for me. I've always wanted to fly aeroplanes, and to me, the most beautiful and romantic and awe-inspiring aeroplane was a Spitfire. But I never in a million years thought that even though I got into the Air Force as a pilot, I would ever have a chance to do it.
My great-grandfather was in the military, my grandfather was in the military, my father was in the RAF. My brother is also a flying instructor, still is. My son, Will, has just recently, 2 years ago, joined the RAF as an officer and been streamed as a pilot. So yeah, it continues in the Smurden family.
My name's Will Smurden. I'm a grandson of an RAF pilot, son of an RAF pilot, and I myself am now an RAF pilot. Growing up in kind of a military household, I always knew I wanted to join the RAF. All the pictures on the walls were all of planes, all the pictures of my dad flying, my dad's friends flying.
To fly any of the aeroplanes on the BBMF, you have to be in the right place at the right time with the right sort of background, and I was lucky enough to have those sort of criteria. But what can I say, you know, the opportunity to even sit in a Spitfire, let alone have the chance to physically fly it, is, to me, everyone's dream come true. You know, it really is the ultimate aspiration for a fighter pilot.
So I'm down here at Biggin Hill today, hopefully to fly in the back of a 2-seat Spitfire. It's a Mark 9 that's been turned into a trainer Mark 9. My grandfather flew Mark 9s in World War II.
This is almost a unique opportunity to be able to fly one of these machines, handle it, see what it does, especially compared with his background and what he's starting to do in the Air Force now. And certainly for us, it's the turning of the wheel, completes a circle. My father first flew a Spitfire in '41. Here we are in 2018, and my son's going to fly one. It's a tremendous thing. Very proud as a family.
I'm a little bit apprehensive of flying the Spitfire. I've never flown in something that's 75 years old.
What a thing.
It was absolutely incredible to take control of the Spitfire. It's a completely different beast to what I'm used to.
Okay, if you want to come round to the right then, Will. Sit and roll out there.
When you're flying these aircraft, your mind is often cast back. It's very hard not to let your mind wander and imagine what it was like back then. You're always aware you're in the footsteps of much, much more important men.
Part of me is jealous of my granddad got to fly them and kind of has his job, and the other part is how he must have felt flying this. Quite inspiring actually, isn't it?
It's a huge privilege to fly those machines and keep them flying for the people to remember what went on back in the Second World War.
I just feel amazed by how well it flies. Now, 75-year-old airframe, it just kind of cruised about the skies, no problem. I'm just in awe, in absolute awe.
It is my sincere hope that the Royal Air Force continues to run the Battle of Britain Memorial Flight as a marker for its respect for what those men did in World War II, but also to celebrate what the Royal Air Force does and what the British people have done. You know, and if you see and hear a Spitfire go over, or a Lancaster bomber, you would have a very, very hard heart if you weren't perhaps moved. The hairs on the back of your neck go up and a lump in your throat as you see it happen.